A lot of members outside of Cardano have knocked the chain for a lack of growth and a lack of community. Now, over the course of the past 3 to 4 weeks alone, not only have we seen a ton of meme coins pumping, but we're also now seeing the beginning of DeFi summer. So in today's video, as always, I want to touch on the latest bits of news surrounding the Cardano ecosystem. First things first, we're going to jump into some updates surrounding unique account growth, as well as the Cardano TVL. And then, as I mentioned, the beginning of what appears to be DeFi summer for Cardano native tokens. Second, we're going to jump into some updates surrounding AADA Finance and their V2 marketing proposal, which has just come to a close. Following that, we're going to talk a little bit about Indigo, which has just released a preview for a brand new portfolio that they'll be releasing as a part of the V2 release of their web app as well. Now, last but not least, I want to break down some news surrounding brand new features, which have just been released by the TapTools team for their TapD holders or their TapTools Pro. Now, without taking up any more time, we're going to jump straight into the first topic here for today's Cardano Scoop, which will be focusing on unique account growth. Now, I'm going to keep this relatively quick, but coming in at number one, we've got SpaceBuds with an increase of 141% or about 138 accounts, followed by the Plutus.art marketplace with 242 accounts. Coming in at number three, we've got Chilled Kongs, which was just embroiled in a lot of drama, which I covered in my last Cardano Scoop, with 269 accounts being created for them or interacting with their platform, followed by AADA Finance, which I'm going to be talking a little bit more about here in just a minute, which has received an additional 472 accounts interacting with their lending and borrowing protocol. Coming in at number five, we've got Vi Finance, which has been making a lot of noise within this ecosystem, and they have more than 4.3 thousand new accounts interacting with their DEX and bar. Now, I did recently release a video with Stephen Ward, who's going to be their CEO and founder, breaking down all of the features coming onto the Vi Finance platform. And if you guys want to find out more about it, then go ahead and make sure to check that video out. Right below them, we've got Dead Pixels, followed by MuesliSwap, which has also seen a really huge increase in volume and trading activity, as well as appreciation in the price of their token, with 3.5K new accounts being created on their platform. Right below them, we've got Jed, and then at number 9, we've got Wing Riders with 6,000 new accounts, and then we've also got Genius Yield with about 368 new accounts. Now, Genius Yield will be launching their testnet on August 15th, which I also mentioned in my prior Cardano Scoop update. That is going to do it there for that brief update surrounding unique account growth and some of the biggest builders right now gaining new users. The second thing I want to break down is going to be a quick update surrounding the Cardano TVL. So in terms of the US dollar valuation, Cardano now sits with a TVL of $156 million. In terms of ADA on the network locked up, we've got more than 547 million ADA, which is an all-time high, which has been increasing steadily over the course of the last year. Now, this particular metric, again, does continue to move up and to the right, given the fact that we've got so many new DeFi protocols launching. And I'm actually going to be breaking down some of those biggest gainers here in just a moment. In terms of who's actually been gaining the most TVL, we still have MintSwap at number one, which is going to be a DEX. We've got Indigo, which is a collateralized debt platform, at number 2 with 32 million ADA. And then we've got ViFi, which has just climbed the ranks given the fact that they have only been on the mainnet for a little bit over a month and a half. So they now have more than $17 million locked up with a 7-day TVL change of 43%. And over the last month alone, a change of 114%. Right behind them, we've got Liquid, which again is going to be very similar to AADA Finance, which is going to be a lending and borrowing protocol building on Cardano. Behind them, we've got Jed, and then we've got Wing Riders. Now, another competitor that's been rising steadily but slowly has also been MuesliSwap, which is going to be a DEX, which I believe was actually one of the first DEXs to launch on Cardano with an order book style model. Right behind them, we've got SundaySwap, followed by AADA Finance, which is gearing up for the V2 version launch of their protocol. So again, a very brief update here, but head over to DeFi Llama if you guys want to check on this here on your own. The next thing I want to jump into is going to be a brief update surrounding the performance of Bitcoin compared to Ethereum and then compared to ADA. So since the beginning of this new year, or 2023, Bitcoin is now up 81%, given the fact that we just broke our all-time high for this year, and I believe that now sits at $31,000. Right behind that, we've got Ethereum with a 56% increase year to date. And then unfortunately, given the fact that we did have a little bit of drama surrounding the SEC, Cardano only has a year to date gain of 19%. So a huge way for Cardano to go compared to Bitcoin as well as Ethereum. But I do want to say that in this, there is a silver lining. So that's going to take me to the next page here. And I want to just give a little bit of credit here to Alexander Legolas, who I am going to be bringing onto the channel for an interview surrounding Cardano and the DeFi space. He's been very vocal here over the course of the past few weeks, calling some of the biggest gainers that we've seen in the ecosystem, which include the Milk token, Iagon, ViFi, and AADA Finance. Now, he does do a lot of charting, so if you're interested in that, make sure to go ahead and follow him on Twitter. But I wanted to highlight the fact that even though Cardano is down compared to Bitcoin, right? We just saw that Bitcoin is up 80% year to date versus Cardano only at 19%. When we're looking at Cardano native tokens, including Indigo, ViFi, AADA, and Milk, right? Or the Muesli Swap token, Indigo is up 17%. Again, this is just on the 7-day. ViFi is up a whopping 80 or 90% in the last 7 days, followed by AADA, which is up 14%. And then Milk has just broken 90% up on the last 7 days. If I go over and I show you guys this in another way, right, you guys can definitely see that even though Cardano has been affected by the recent news by the SEC, it doesn't seem like the price for Milk, AADA, ViFi, and Indigo, which are going to be some of the top DeFi and DEX protocols on Cardano, has been affected. It seems like the opposite, actually, that as the price for Cardano trails lower and lower, people are seeing that as an opportunity to come into Cardano and actually leverage and put their tokens to use using either DEXs or DeFi protocols. Now, this is all warranted given the fact that a lot of these platforms are building and providing new features that have not been available since the last bull run, in which we basically had the initial launch of smart contracts on Cardano. And as you guys know, we've come a long way since then with the recent Vassal hard fork. And then we're also expecting the SIP 1694 for Voltaire or governance. So again, make sure to go ahead and check out Alex if you guys want some more information surrounding some of the top trades right now to take within the Cardano ecosystem. And as always, make sure to go ahead and do your own research. That will take us through that very first update here for today's Cardano Scoop. If you guys are enjoying this video so far, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by the channel and you want more content like this, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions for me surrounding anything that we're going to be breaking down today, then please make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. The second story for today's video is going to be surrounding the AADA protocol, and I recently broke down the fact that this team is going to be upgrading to V2, which will bring on peer-to-pool lending. This will be in addition to peer-to-peer, and they're going to be building out their peer-to-pool version of the protocol, leveraging Icon to simplify their smart contract development. I've also covered this in greater detail, so if you guys want to find out more about that, make sure to go ahead and check out my dedicated videos for AADA Finance. Now, what I want to break down here is the fact that the voting period has ended for their V2 marketing proposal, in which they're looking to allocate, I believe it's about 1 million ADA to raise awareness in collaboration with Cointelegraph as to what they're going to be bringing and how this platform can grow not only the Cardano space, but the blockchain space as a whole. So if I jump over into the actual governance website here for AADA, I did touch on this before, but we've got a full breakdown of the actual proposal. And as a part of their temp check, this was actually voted to be brought on chain. Now, the voting period on chain has finally come to a close, and we now have the final tally, with yes getting a whopping 99.64% of the votes, and then we've got no with a mere 0.36% of the votes. I did mention this before. I think this vote was way over after the first day or two. Again, it doesn't make sense as to why the AADA holder community would not want to vote for this particular proposal, raising awareness, therefore the value as well as the appreciation, of not only the AADA token, but the actual platform as a whole. So that is going to be it there for that very brief update surrounding AADA Finance. The next thing I want to jump into is going to be surrounding Indigo, which is going to be a platform allowing users to gain exposure to assets that may not be native to Cardano. As always, I've got a fully dedicated playlist for this particular protocol, so make sure to check that out if you want to catch up on Indy and where they are in terms of their roadmap, as well as the assets managed on the platform. Now, AADA is not the only platform working on a V2 version of their protocol. We're also expecting a V2 version of the Indigo protocol. Now, this is going to be for their web app. I don't believe they have a mobile application just yet, but I'm sure that they're probably thinking about that. And if we don't get that maybe within the next year or so, that might be something that they need to look into. Now, what I want to highlight here is that they'll be introducing a brand new page portfolio. Now, this portfolio will allow for you to see the following: your total portfolio value, the Indigo tokens that you have staked, your collateralized debt positions and your debt if you're borrowing, as well as your stability pool deposits if you're protecting the protocol or providing insurance to the protocol in case that somebody else gets liquidated. Very lastly, you'll be able to see your claimable rewards, as well as a history of your rewards that you've gained on the platform. So breaking this down a little bit further, if I go ahead and just zoom in a little bit, let me get myself off of the screen here. On the left-hand side, we've got all the different sections of the protocol that you can access. Right over here in the actual portfolio, we can see the total value of the entire portfolio. To the right of that, we can see all the assets currently held within our connected wallet. Right below that, we've got the collateralized debt position status, so we can see how much collateral we have on the protocol and then how much debt we've accumulated so far. And then to the left of that, we can see our assets that are currently staking, either within the stability pools or as staked Indy. To the right of that, we can see a historical view very similar to what we have within the Yoroi wallet for Cardano AADA rewards. However, in this case, it'll be for Indy staking rewards. Right below that, we've got a tabular format here for all the rewards, and then you've got the ability to toggle between rewards that you've either claimed or rewards that may have already expired. So pretty cool update here. Again, I'm excited to see that a lot of these protocols are iterating on their initial MVPs, bringing a lot more utility and a lot more features for their holders. The very last story here for today's Cardano Scoop is going to be surrounding another builder which continues to give more and more value to the entire Cardano ecosystem. Now, this is going to be surrounding the TapTools platform. If you guys are not familiar with TapTools, I believe they're quickly becoming the top analysis or the top analytics platform being built on Cardano. So if you're trying to track your NFTs or any of the any of the fungible tokens that you might hold within your wallet, then go ahead and check out the TapTools platform. Now, what I'm going to do is briefly touch on some of the latest updates that have been made to the TapTools protocol, which include the feature for charting entries and exits for any particular wallet. So not only can you now see the actual price action for a token, if you click on a particular wallet, you can now see when they've actually made purchases and when they've exited any particular trade. So it allows for you to quickly track some of the most active wallets. And this is going to be in addition to their portfolio and their overview platform, which is available for pro holders, but that also breaks down and provides additional details surrounding specific trades that a particular address has made. So again, a lot of value. And if you're looking to potentially understand how some of these bigger wallets or some more specific wallets are moving, this feature is going to help you do that very, very easily. Now, that is not all. We've got a few more updates to chat about here. The next one is going to be surrounding the NFT overview. So as I mentioned before, you can see your fungible token asset value as well as your non-fungible token asset values. And they've added a new feature to view collection volume by wallet. And then you can also now see collections by holder distribution. Now, the holder distribution is not visible on this particular screenshot. This is only the collection volume by wallet value, which basically shows you whether the whales, sharks, or the shrimps are holding the majority and doing the majority of selling or buying for a given NFT collection. So a lot of really insightful information here coming from the TapTools team. Next, we've got a brand new feature, which I've actually just started using myself, which is going to be the money flow feature. So for this feature, you'll now be able to view net inflows and outflows by asset, market, and by wallet value all in one dashboard. Again, this is all going to be for NFTs and fungible tokens. So on the left-hand side, if I zoom in a little bit here, We've got all of the asset inflows by the wallet size, right? So you can see whether shrimps are doing a particular thing, which in this case, you can see that a lot of the smaller wallets are doing a lot of selling, whereas some of the bigger wallets are doing a lot of the buying, bringing in new liquidity into our markets. Now, this is specifically here for the fungible assets or fungible tokens. And then to the right of that, we've got NFTs represented here in a very similar fashion. Right below that, we can see the top NFT collections. If I get myself out of the way there, where we have the most inflow coming in, which coincidentally, the Tappy NFT, which is going to access or give you access to the TapTools platform, is coming in at number 1 with the most inflows. And then you can see some of the smaller NFT collections, which might actually be selling instead of bringing new liquidity into the market. To the left of that, we've got a very similar view for fungible assets with ViFi leading the way right below AADA. And then we've also got the XViFi token followed by Milk Meld, NTX or NewNet, and then the Cherry tokens bringing in a lot of liquidity into the space. Now, the very last update that I wanted to share here with you guys is going to be surrounding brand new portfolio integrations for MuesliSwap, which will now allow for you to view the flexible staking position that you may have on this particular DEX, as well as any assets that you might be staking on the ViFi vaults. So the TapTools team really providing a lot of value and a lot of reason as to why you may want to invest in a Tappy NFT, which again gives you access to all of these pro features, which I have just touched on. And so in closing of today's video, I do want to highlight some of the stats surrounding the Tappy NFT. And as you guys can see here, the Tappy NFT is now trading at a 665 ADA floor price with 15% listed and over 2.14 million ADA generated since the launch of the NFT, or about 7 days ago. So value being made, and it's actually being reflected here by the floor price of this particular NFT, given the fact that it did mint for a 420 ADA price. And keep in mind that if you hold 5 of these Tappy NFTs, you will be able to keep access to TapTools Pro for life. If you hold just a single or any up to 4, those will be valid for, I believe, 420 days, making the value, if you minted originally, 1 ADA per day to use the platform. But the timer has not yet started. I did reach out within their Discord, and they'll be making an official announcement as to when that countdown begins. So if you do pick up a Tappy NFT right now to get access to the TapTools Pro features, you can go ahead and actually begin using that without having the time being started or the countdown for the time being started. So I believe that that is going to do it. Again, a pretty brief and quick update surrounding Cardano in all of the bits of news in terms of developments for the protocol. So we now have, again, the Cardano DeFi Summer, in my personal opinion, kicking off, followed by AADA and their marketing V2 proposal. And then we briefly touched on Indigo and their brand new portfolio view coming as a part of their V2 version of their platform. And then last but not least, we broke down some of the latest features being released by the TapTools team. If you found any of this particular video or information to be helpful or insightful, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by the channel and you want more content like this, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions for me surrounding Cardano in general, then please make sure to go ahead and leave those down in the comment section below. That said, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.